Hello and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to be discussing this book, Trouble of Mind and the Disease of Melancholy by Timothy Rogers. Timothy Rogers was a Puritan from the late 17th century. He was born in 1658. He dies in 1728. And this book that he writes is a book about the disease of melancholy, about what we call in our day depression. Rogers himself had a bout with melancholy or depression beginning in 1688, and it lasted for about 2 years. And during those 2 years, he was, as he tells in his own story, he was inconsolable and had no vision of God's grace or God's love. And he comes out of it in 1690 and he writes this book, Trouble of Mind. And he writes it so that others in the same condition will be able to live through it, I guess is the best way to put it. Rogers himself says that the book is not the most artful and the language isn't the most precise, but he writes it so that those who are suffering in the midst of this difficulty can get through it. Now, one of the most valuable pieces of this book is the preface to the book. In the preface, Rogers directs this section to the friends and family of those who are battling depression or melancholy. And in this discussion with the friends and family, he makes many points that will come up in discussions about depression to our own day. He makes the point that this is an illness, and that you cannot tell someone to stop being depressed just the same as you cannot tell someone to stop having a fever or stop having a broken leg. He tells people to understand what the limitations are in this illness, that you don't tell someone with a broken leg to run. So there are things that you cannot tell someone with depression to do. And one of the most important pieces of this is that he wants to connect this to saying that when someone tells you these things, believe them. Believe the trouble of mind that they have. Believe the despairing spirit that they have. And he goes through many points. So the preface to this book is one of the most valuable parts to it. And one of the other crucial aspects in this book is that Rogers very clearly says that everyone will not come out of melancholy. He says there is no guarantee that this season of despair, this season of depression will end. And he does not want to make that guarantee for anyone. He knows what it's like to be in the midst of that, and he does not want to make false promises. Now, the book is a Puritan book, so it is filled with the language and theology of the Puritans, much of which will be foreign to us. But I found the book to be tremendously helpful, and especially as I remembered to my own battles with depression 20-some odd years ago. That feeling and that sense of the absence of God. And Rogers is very clear about saying that feeling is real, and that feeling is not in and of itself sinful. So there are reasons for it, and he goes through some of those reasons. He does not want to blame this on the devil. He does not want to blame this on sinfulness. He just says it is part of our fallen condition. And he says some will come out of it and some will not. But the overarching theme is that God is there for all of these people. The ones that come through it and the ones that live with it entirely. So I recommend to your reading Timothy Rogers' Trouble of Mind and the Disease of Melancholy. It is a wonderful book, and the preface is perhaps so inspiring, especially in our moments that we live in today. Thank you.